God. All right, YouTube, we are back at the shop again, and a lot of things have changed. Well, biggest thing that has changed is my motor is, as you can see, no longer on a stand in the middle of the shop. It is on the subframe. Yeah, I didn't really feel like trying to video and fuck around with a chain hoist at the same time. Like that shit, well, excuse me, an engine hoist at the same time. That shit would have been ridiculous, especially getting from over here to, over here. It's kind of messy, but it is what it be. But check it out. I got the valve covers on, I got my headers on, and again, I skipped a lot of process, but it is what it is. I got the engine on the subframe, and the lift plate is on it. As you can see, the upper is off right now. Got the front cover on, about to throw the last couple bolts in it. And this engine will be back in its home. Coming close. It is so close to being running again. Every day get a little bit closer. Got my Mantic triple disc with aluminum flywheel right here. And transmission over there. Yeah, I know, it's kind of messy, but it is what it be. Drag radius. Things that are on the agenda for today are get the front cover seal, get the balancer put back on the engine. It's hot as fuck, so I'm sweating. Get the balancer put back on the engine. Hopefully, if everything goes the right way, I can get the subframe back in the car. If I can get the subframe back in the car, I'll stop and it'll be fine for the day. That'll be cool. But I gotta wait for my brother to get back so we can move this lawnmower and this cart, because he's got the key. But yeah, I'm finna start tackling this, and I'm gonna keep you guys in the loop as I go. All right, update. So I've gotten the front cover on, I got the balancer on, and here a couple seconds ago, I just got everything out of the way that was over there. So I moved that pressure washer, the lawnmower, I got my transmission on here. It's a little bit of a bitch, but it's clear, and got my tires out of the way. So here in a couple seconds, I'm going to get this rack fired up. It has not been on in a while, so I'm gonna move it up and down a few times, and I think I'm going to get you guys some video of me, like a time lapse of me dropping the car on the motor. So that's what's next.
Sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
All right, you guys, we are back at the shop. It's the next day. Sad to say, we ran into an issue. The engine would already be back into the car, except for it sat on the rack for a year. And I believe that there is an air pocket somewhere in the hydraulic system on the rack, and this is as low as we can get it. See, I was to the point of putting the subframe in the car, and this video was supposed to be, me getting in the car and starting to put the wiring harness back on it and getting ready to, lift it up and put the transmission and clutch and drive shaft and stuff back in it. But now we have to get the rack situated. But, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It sat up here for a year, and I guess these kind of things just happen. So that's what we're working on now, and as soon as we get the lift here situated, we'll get the engine in the car, and it'll be that much closer to being ready to go. So, right now, while that's happening, I have the battery to the maroon truck charging, and I'm gonna give you guys a startup for that. I haven't done that yet, and I haven't really messed with it because when the rear end went out, I just haven't. Having multiple vehicles down is not something that I really, like to fuck with. So when this one went down as heavy as it did with the engine, I was just like, fuck it. I'm gonna focus on the Challenger and figure out everything I need to do for it and get it finished. And once I get that done, I'll just buy a rear end for that truck. I built one. So hopefully that will solve the issue of that breaking, because it had the stock 10 bolt in it, and I was not nice to it, to say the absolute least. So right now, like I said, that battery is charging, and I think it's about ready. So I'm gonna get this camera set up and give y'all a very hot, as you can see, all the sweat and stuff, a very hot cold start. I'm in the middle of doing this, and I just remembered, for those of you who haven't seen, and this is the issue with the 392 Hemi, the biggest issue, for those of you who haven't seen, is the rod and piston. I want you guys to check this out real quick. Look at that top ringland. It's tiny. There are spots where it necks down to like where the valve relief is. It drops down to little to nothing. This is the issue with the 392. Is the fact that the pistons, they aren't bad per se, you know what I'm saying? People have made a good bit of power with them, but any amount, and I mean any amount of detonation will destroy these. And before anybody gets on here and comments about how 392s are prone to detonation because of how high the compression is, that's not really how that works. It's the fuel. If you were making above 700 horsepower, I don't care what your platform is, pump gas starts to get really volatile, because especially if you're making it with boost. Pump gas over 700 horsepower gets really crazy. And even worse if you have cats. And the majority of the people who run these cars have cats. That stuff all adds up to the car being prone to knot. Like, if you have a supercharged vehicle with catalytic converters, you're just asking for shit to happen. I mean, I know, we gotta be quote unquote responsible or whatever, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Switch to E85 if you have it in your state, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have it in your state, ask your whatever, politicians, whoever, who cares? But here in Tennessee, or if you're in like Florida or places like that, just go E85 if you're going above a certain amount, because detonation is what kills these. I mean, it's not much. It doesn't take much. Like, I'm gonna give everybody credit, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause it's a problem. Like, the ring land is thin. Like, it's thin. The piston is the problem. But your fuel choice is also part of the problem. So if you're out here trying to make as much as you can on pump gas, I don't know why you would do that. I mean, E85 is, for the most part, like I said, if you're in a state like where we are, it's readily available. Even pump E85, you can make like 1,300 horsepower with. So, I mean, not with these, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But, like, you know, the fuel doesn't get volatile until around that area. So you might as well. But, yeah. Hell, the rods aren't super thin, but they like to go. They like to go around like around 700 something foot-pounds of torque. They like to go. They like to go. And a little bit of knot kills the pistons, and mid 700s torque kills the rods. So if you have a 392 or any kind of Hemi, just throw drop ends in it, unless you have a Hellcat. And if you have a 15 through 17 Hellcat, throw rod bolts in it. You know what I'm saying? It's that, I say it's that simple, but I mean, you'd rather spend the money first than to have to spend twice later because you want it to be cheap on it. But I will move on to getting this truck started. Yeah, it is crazy hot out here. So I'm gonna get you guys this cold start and get you a couple of revs and let it idle for just a second, and then I'm gonna be ready to about pack this stuff up, because right now, until we get the person over here to fuck with the rack, I'm kind of stuck at a stalemate. So here you go. Guess that battery might be bad. It was close. Damn. All right. So that battery is completely fucked. So I don't know how long this thing is gonna even really run, really. But I couldn't get the cold start because I just basically did it on a prayer. But here it is. Smells like straight E85. That exhaust system's kind of jank because we weren't really finished doing that exhaust system's kind of jank because we were supposed to finish it all the way back, but ran out of time. But yeah. First time I've had it running on the channel, but that's it. It's once I put a rear end in it, it's gonna be pretty good. But yeah, check this out. Responsive, just like touch it. All right, so really quick, at the last little bit here, quick rundown of everything this truck has. All right, so it has a for the fuel system, it has a Jazz fuel cell with basically everything that Motion Raceworks recommended. That flex fuel sensor isn't hooked up right now. I'll hook it up later. I got kind of bitched at because it's on the return side, but then again, this ain't a race truck, so I really don't care. But you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so basically this here, it's got a Jazz fuel cell with 2 -8s going into the drop down and go into a Magnafuel 750, which is on the frame over there. So it drops down from 2 -8s into a -12 into the 750, -10 out, up into the valley back there to the back of the rails, and it splits from the dash 10 into two dash 8s to the front of the rails, or into the front of the thing here, into that regulator setup there. Yes, I know. My fuel lines go right next to the belt. I'm gonna fix it. But you know what I'm saying? I just haven't had the. I gotta figure out where I want to put that regulator, because I'm gonna have to change where it's at in order to fix that problem. But basically, it's got the pretty big fuel system, so it's capable of doing a lot. Like they said that you should be able to get like 1,000 wheel off of this setup. So if I get this truck in the 900, if this truck gets in the 900 horsepower range, which it should be able to get into the 900 horsepower range, it should be able to do it. 950 on the 85 should be able to be had pretty easily. Yeah, I got the forward facing headers. They're 7/8. They're kind of cheap. They were just like I forgot what the brand was. They're just very cheap headers. As you can see, they're kind of rusting right there. But we got two Motion Raceworks Hypergate 45s, just pointing down right there to the ground. This truck is running a Borg Warner S372 with a 1.0 exhaust housing. I'm finna switch that to a 0.91, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, why would you do that? It comes on a little too slow. So yeah, I'm gonna switch it to that. Plus I got those two big ass wastegates and the engine 7/8 headers. I mean, like, when I drive this truck, and I'll post videos of it because I still have those videos. When I drive this truck, even it has 14-pound springs in it, and I can barely hit like 10 psi. So I think this setup is way too big for the 4.8. Like, it's way too big. Engine 7/8 headers or whatever, all of the shit, it's just too big for the 4.8. But yeah, it's got, I forgot what brand these electric fans are, but they do the job. They're pretty good. I'll get to it in another video. Yeah, I kind of just did what I had to on those coil packs. Yeah, they're kind of jank, not gonna lie, but they work, and I've beaten a few cars that were pretty quick, so I don't give a fuck. But here soon, I'm gonna get some. I think they're BTR valve covers, and it'll solve that entire issue. And then I'll be able to set a catch can up in this bitch. So then I'll actually be, doing it the right way. But it is what it is. Wiring setup looks also kind of jank, but it works. I got everything tied to where it's not gonna hit anything, and I got the starter on a forward relay, so it doesn't see hot when the thing is on. I'm not really worried about it. But yeah, everything works. It does as it should. I wish I could have shown you guys that when this truck acts like a factory vehicle. Like, when I turn the key on, the pump primes and everything, it starts from the key. It's not some kind of like fighter jet thing where you're flipping all the switches and bullshit. It's an actual truck that I can get in and just hop in and go when it has a rear end in it. And yeah, it has these Caltracs on it. Dude, game changer. I'm running 555 R2s for now. Once I crank the boost up, because right now I don't have my boost controller set up. I have the wastegates. I have the wastegate. I have them plumbed for the. I have the wastegates plumbed for the boost controller. I just haven't wired it up yet. The truck was never running long enough to, actually get into any of that shit. So what's next on the agenda for this truck is getting the boost controller set up, and I guess I'll wait on that for the swapping out the exhaust housing on the thing, but see what kind of power this truck can make, because right now the most boost I've gotten is 10 psi going down the street, and it's all those giving me. And like I said, I think I have 14 psi springs in that bitch, so it's we'll see. But I'm gonna put the boost controller on and see where it goes. But yeah, this is it, man. Twin 45 Hypergates pointing directly to the ground. Big fuel system. Lots of room in the exhaust. I don't think I'll have any back pressure issues. Like, I don't think this thing will have any back pressure issues, even when it gets that motor. But yeah, I'm gonna do a whole thing with it. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a little different, but yeah, this is the race truck, and if the if this battery still has a charge in it, I will start it for you guys one more time, just to show you how it does. Let's see what it's got. T56 Magnum. Good oil pressure. Yeah, and that's pretty much it, y'all. At this point, y'all have seen the vehicles that this channel is going to start with, and well, y'all are going to see where I go with it. And until the next one, see ya.